tale of two halves here in this one. Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks off to a great start. They were up 71-66 at the break, but Wisconsin product, Jalen Johnson starts going to work with his team. Very balanced scoring all the way around. A huge third quarter. Okongwu, one of 8 threes, and Giannis pretty angry, throwing himself a technical foul by throwing that ball. And Jalen Johnson leaving the state, his home state, with another victory. At the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports, as Craig Sean and Wesley Matthews on board with you. And Wes, you just got done calling this one with Lisa, and I said tale of two halves, and this one kind of happened that third quarter. Things just kind of fell apart in all phases.
Yeah, I mean, the second half, Atlanta definitely turned up their energy and their focus defensively mainly. And the way that they were playing, they were very decisive with their movements on the offensive side of the ball. They were doing a lot of blur screening. Rather than actually physically setting the screen, blur screening, running past the man, a lot of motion and movement from bodies, which makes you have to communicate. Something that defensively Milwaukee has not done good all season long. And when you're playing against a team like Atlanta that can shoot the ball and play with a lot of high pace and motor, you have to be able to talk, communicate, and understand and be able to apply what you're hearing. And Milwaukee didn't do that at all tonight.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job in the first half, especially offensively. It was a high-scoring first half when they scored 71 points in that one. But Menard's big money moment is the third quarter, and those Atlanta threes, they outscored the Bucks first 32-18, but 8 made threes.
8 made threes, and a lot of them, if we're going to watch them, are going to be wide open because they were getting stops. They were forcing Milwaukee into tough shots. They changed up their defensive scheme. Who was guarding Giannis, making it a little bit more tougher for him to be able to play on the perimeter, which led to transition opportunities. Milwaukee wasn't able to get back. Atlanta plays with one of the fastest paces in the league, and that's tough. When you're playing off of misses, you're playing on the run, they fill the corners, they fill the wings, and they were finding open shots tonight.
Well, we talked in the Bucks Live pregame about the Hawks making some key changes midway through the season. Actually, before midway through the season, they've been kind of on a roll here right now, but Jalen Johnson runs the ship right now, of course, on Prairie High School, Nicolay High School, and now back in his home state with his parents watching. And he had himself a very solid game, 20 points.
Absolutely. I mean, it seemed like he always made timely plays. He's playing under control. A teammate of his 2 years ago, just watching him continue to grow as a player in this league. His shot from the perimeter, his understanding of where his teammates are. He's a playmaker. He's a big point guard. He's a facilitator with extreme athleticism and high IQ, and he showcased that tonight. He let his guys do some work and was able to fill in when he needed to.
Absolutely. All right, 131-113. The final, we're going to look at Giannis's game when we come back. Also hear from Doc Rivers' Bucks. They lose at 131-113. Back at the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports. As Craig Sean and Wesley Matthews on board. Our GMC professional grade performer taking a look at Giannis's night. His second game back after missing 6 weeks with that calf injury again. Matching pretty much points to minutes here in this one. Giannis, 24 points in 25 minutes of action, and really was involved, got the offense involved well in that first half, but his overall game, he's still looking to mesh with some of his new teammates.
Absolutely, and he got it going early. He was being aggressive, which is what you always expect from Giannis, and the spacing was good. He was playing with a lot of energy, getting out of transition. And when he was at his best, when this Bucks team was at their best, was when they were getting stopped. They were able to space the court out. When Atlanta turned their pressure up a little bit on that second half, that made it a little bit more difficult, and you had to play against a half-court set defense, which Atlanta has been playing very well and since the All-Star break. And they also made a change, switching from Onyeka Okongwu to guarding Giannis as the primary defender to Dyson Daniels, and Milwaukee was never really able to counter that. It was still difficult, and Dyson did a great job playing against Giannis on the perimeter, and the rest of the team shrinking the court up.
Yeah, if you can't make those adjustments on your end as well, I mean, you're just going to continue to struggle in games like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And they still were able to get shots off. Like, they still made good looks and all of that. But at the same time, when those shots don't fall, you have to rely on your defensive side of the ball. You can't just think that you're going to outscore everybody. At some point, defense is going to have to matter. Communication is going to have to matter, and so that until you can get your offense going again.
All right. Good job tonight, Wesley, pulling double duty again for us. Appreciate that. We'll see you again on Friday night coming up here for sure. Or Saturday night. We'll make it Saturday night.
Saturday. How about Saturday?
Take a couple days.
Appreciate it.
All right. More on the way here. Just fall to the Hawks. So next game up is Friday. First of back-to-back. I should say Saturday. Here I go again. Utah coming to town. Saturday night, 6:30 Bucks Line. Pregame, Keontae George. Leading scorer for the Jazz. They are struggling. 18-44 on the season. 5th worst record in the NBA. They lost again tonight. He had 24 in the latest loss. So that's the Bucks' next opponent. We're going to take a break, come back. Hope to hear from Doc Rivers after the Bucks fall to Atlanta. Bucks fall here tonight, 131-113. Here's Doc Rivers.
For you guys, it's
there's a none, you know. So I'm not going to overdo a guy throwing the ball off a stanchion as the boiling point of the game. You know what I mean? Like he was frustrated. You know, everybody was frustrated. We scored 18 points in the third quarter. It seems like every game we have that one quarter right now. I mean, what were we shooting? 70% in the first quarter, 64% in the second quarter. And I told our guys at halftime, I said, we had a team shooting 64 and a team shooting 60. I think threes were even. We may have been up 2. I said the second half's going to come down to stops and threes. And they had 8 in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought that was the difference in the game. They can't make 7 more threes than you, and you expect to win the game. So I was more focused on that than what Giannis was doing. I thought we just stopped moving, stopped playing the way we were playing offensively. I thought we got. Now, how many times in the third quarter did we have late clock situations, you know, where we didn't have any of that to start the game?
and maybe that goes into this where obviously there's runs all the time, but it seems lately the team hasn't really responded to the other run. Like
no.
I guess what is happening there? That's kind of why I guess maybe emotionally, like if they're just getting
that's on everybody. That's like we gotta get stops. You know, our defense tonight, aided by the turnovers. You know, 13 turnovers for 21 points. You look at their points. It was transition turnovers. It was you know, 3-pointers. And the difference is I thought they kept playing. They stayed in their system, and we got out of ours.
I think you guys are 25th in defense coming into the game.
Yeah.
It felt like they got whatever they wanted at the rim.
Whatever they wanted.
3.
Yeah.
Just what do you feel like can be done defensively?
We may have to play different guys. We may have to go bigger. Because right now, we're giving up too many points, too easy. We've changed schemes 5 different times, and the change may be going bigger and maybe taking more offense off the floor.
Just for you guys, all bench unit, all 5 guys with that bench unit, kind of untraditional, obviously, with Kevin being out and not having like that second point guard. What did you kind of see?
I liked it.
5-man
I mean, they were a plus. Look at the plus minus. It was it's one group each night, right? The other night it was the starters. Tonight it's the second group. So.
Yeah, Doc, speaking of the starters, 10-0 run by the Hawks out of half.
Yeah.
We talked on Sunday about the starting unit. They blew like 2 15-point leads, right? Like, is it, I mean, coming out of half, is it something that you're seeing like, you know, throughout the game with the starters? What is it with?
No, you know, the starters got off to a great start tonight. I mean, they got us up big, quick. They played great. So coming out, third quarter, honestly, I thought we played differently. I thought we went one-on-one. We didn't have space. We turned the ball over. We got frustrated. You know, I will say it's tough for Giannis because he knows he's got 5 minutes, you know, with this minute limitation. So I felt like he was trying to force the game into the game quickly. And then I just thought we lost our rhythm. We never got it back. Even the second group came in and played a little better, but I never thought we got our rhythm offensively. But more importantly, they scored every time, as you said, and that's what frustrates me. I can live with us struggling offensively, but you got to get stops. And in that stretch, when we didn't score, they scored every time, and that's when the game changed.
Right.
All right, that's Doc Rivers. Golic and Golic coming up immediately following our Bucks Live postgame show, an encore version of Golic and Golic from earlier today, so we'll look forward to that. Next telecast again coming up on Saturday. It's back-to-back Saturday and Sunday nights of